Well, good morning. And again, one thing I've liked about this group is the way they go about every day. And I've appreciated the way they've approached this week and the way practices have gone to this point. And as we wrap it up, look forward to continuing that. But I'm certainly excited to go and play a very good Purdue team.
Start with Colton. Well, you talked about on Monday, like staying in the moment and not worrying about the end of the season. How do you coach that into players? Because I've heard you say that over the past couple of years, that being important to you in the program. So how do you kind of coach that and get players to buy into that?
I think that it's, certainly everyone gets it. There's a narrative that people want to talk about. And I equate it to, whether it's a game or the season, that if you look at a game, there's a lot of things that go on during the game. And if you just are worried about the end of the game, you miss, which is the only time you have a winner or loser declared, you miss the best part of the game. And that's getting the chance to play it. And I think it's the same for a season, that a lot of things happen throughout the course of a season, and a lot of things happen throughout the course of a game. And to make the most of the journey that you get to have, is being in the moment. And, I think individually too, we've been around it so much, and you realize that, there are no guarantees, whether you're playing in the game or a season. We've been lucky. Jack Sitchy's back and working out, and he's been around our players, and yet we all, or those of you who remember, Sitch missed a lot of games, and you hold on and you value the ones you get to play with and play in. And so I think that it's just an approach that you've got to take. And if you want to be the best, all right, in the moment, you got to truly immerse yourself in that moment. And that's all that matters. And I think that, I get it, not naive. There's always going to be a lot of talk that really doesn't pertain and help, I think, individuals being in that moment. So I think a lot of rambling there, and I don't know if I made any sense, but that's kind of what came to my mind when you asked it.
Go to Jeff.
I'll see if I can ramble through it myself as well. Jeff Brown talked about the fact that he played 3 quarterbacks last week, including on one series to kind of spark his red zone offense. Is there much of a difference for what those guys do? Do you have to prepare any differently, or is it just be aware of when a guy is in the game at a certain point on the field?
Yeah, I think that, and certainly a lot of respect for Jeff, and I think a really good coach. I think by him saying that and doing what he did, he feels there's enough of a difference, or that could provide a spark, right? So you've got to take credit, give credit there, and kind of pay attention to it. But at the same time, I think that you still, anything we do defensively, you may have a lean one way or the other, but you've got to prepare for their offense. And just because when this quarterback was in, they did or didn't do this, doesn't mean the other couldn't, and I think just speaking on, or any coach would say, there's some things that maybe one does a little bit better. But I think it'd be pretty risky to just put all your eggs into, and I think that's where you can struggle just in game planning in general, that if you only prepared for what you saw, there's going to be more. And so I think that there's a balance to it, Jeff, in that, he's doing it for a reason, to give some spark. It may be just a little wrinkle here or there that they can provide, or it's maybe there's a package for them. And some, certainly knowing we've done this where you practice a certain package just because of the number of reps. Everyone can't get those reps. And so I think you have to be aware of it, but you got to be careful to make too much of a wholesale change unless you really truly know, all right, this is this guy's role.
Back to Colton. Paul, what has Logan Breaston been able to do this week in practice? And do you expect him to be able to play Saturday?
Yeah, he's been able to have more, so certainly hopeful.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, Paul, with Devin Chandler's decision, you lose not a guy who had to help you at wide receiver so much, but obviously kick return.
Right.
Have you decided what to do there? Can you share that? Is it just popping Hicks in? Have you looked at other guys this week?
Yeah, there's a couple guys that have been getting the work, and just like, we've always trained, kind of three, where you have three primary returners. And so, we've added a third to it with obviously losing one.